It's Monday, June 13th. We don't have a quorum yet, so we'll begin as a subcommittee of the committee to hear the first bill, AB 33, by Assemblymember Quirk, Electrical Corporations Energy Storage Systems. Welcome, Assemblymember.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm very glad to be here and to talk with you and the other senators. I'd like to first start by accepting the committee amendments contained on page 5 of the analysis. Assembly Bill 33 makes new pumped hydroelectric storage facilities eligible for any increased energy storage system targets adopted by the California Public Utilities Commission. In 2014, legislation was enacted to create a mandate for investor-owned utilities to procure a specified amount of energy storage. That legislation also directed the California Public Utilities Commission to open a proceeding to determine appropriate targets for each load-serving entity to procure viable and cost-effective energy storage systems. Unfortunately, the Public Utilities Commission elected to place an arbitrary restriction on what types of energy storage would satisfy the procurement mandate. Large pumped storage facilities have been proven to be very effective in shifting large quantities of low-cost, off-peak energy production to deliver during high-cost, on-peak energy periods by using excess electricity to pump water uphill into a reservoir. This bill would allow pumped hydro to participate in any future targets without mandating or placing it at an advantage or disadvantage over other forms of energy storage. I have a witness here to testify in support of the bill. 2 witnesses. Madam Delaney Hunter, perhaps you would start.
Mr. Chair and members, Delaney Hunter on behalf of the San Diego County Water Authority. We are a co-sponsor of AB 33. I think Mr. Quirk did a fabulous job of delineating the provisions of the bill. I think simply would say that we see this as a re-leveling of the playing field in storage. And as we look towards our clean energy and climate goals, I think we need more options on the table. This just makes sure that pumped hydro storage is one of those. We ask for your aye vote.
Hello, Audra Hartman here on behalf of Eagle Crest Energy. Eagle Crest is building a large pumped storage 1,300 megawatt facility in Southern California, just north of Desert Center. The project has a FERC license. We really want to thank the author for bringing this bill forward, for helping to clarify what's in the procurement process going forward. We think that the benefits of pump storage, the fact that the Eagle Crest project and others can do long duration storage over 18 hours for us is something that could be considered in the procurement process going forward. And we want to thank you for bringing the bill forward. We want to work to further clarify, with all parties, stakeholders, make further refinements in the process going forward. Sorry. Excuse me. Ask for your support of the bill. Thank you.
Do we have any other testimony in support of the bill?
Mr. Chairman, members, Will Gonzalez on behalf of EDF Renewables and strong support.
Anyone else?
Andrea York on behalf of Clean Power Campaign and support.
Do we have any opposition on the bill?
I just want to say very quickly, this is Eddie Moreno on behalf of Sierra Club California. We were prepared to oppose the bill, but after accepting the clarifying amendments, I will be likely taking this back to my members, and I'll be in touch with your office. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Any other public testimony? Do we have any member? Okay. First, we'll have some member questions, comments. Senator Pavley, followed by Senator Hertzberg.
Yes, Assemblymember Quirk, I'd love to have a conversation with you about this, and I do appreciate the amendment, and here is why. There's targets that have to be reached on this Assemblymember Skinner's bill regarding storage. There's competing markets for storage. I'm fine with pump hydro, but does it disincentivize investing in like battery storage, which I think is incredibly important in order to ramping up renewable energy? We have to reach our SB 350 targets of 50%, You only have so much investment dollars for promoting new technologies. If there's a huge shift in counting pumped hydro in that storage bucket, that could crowd out other equally valuable components. And so that language taken out of the bill is helpful, but I think maybe together we can figure out what's the smartest way to go forward. I was around back in 2002 when we had our first RPS bill at 20%. The whole discussion was, do you count large-scale hydro? What was the opposition to counting hydro? Well, the opposition was, if you count that, then that takes up all the 20%, and then we wouldn't send that market signal for investment in wind and solar. I mean, those were very ugly discussions to have back then. So I don't want to slip backwards in, if you will, in making, I want to make sure we leave broad enough space, maybe by increasing storage targets. I know it goes to the PUC, it just makes it eligible, I get all that, but I want to just sort of bring up a little historical perspective of what happens with maybe one storage technology that just is very close to being ready for prime time with additional investment and rollout, and municipalities putting that into effect. And if they can then just back off, not make those investments and say, we'll just rely on pumped hydro for the foreseeable future, that may not be helpful in reading. So I know you're extremely bright, and I appreciate you, so why don't you come on over and we'll
What they can do, well, what they did with the last bill is essentially say that none of the pumped hydro projects that were being considered at the time, because they're all bigger than 50 megawatts, could be considered for this. That's basically what they did. They ruled out pump hydro. What this would allow them to do is when they consider it, they could set a separate goal for other technologies and a goal for overall what you would do. So you could split it up where overall you want a couple, look, we're going to need gigawatts.
I know that.
We're going to need gigawatts.
Well, I'm just saying it's solvable.
And
but
frankly, the only way you can get gigawatts is with pumped hydro. We do also want to promote other technologies, not only batteries, but there's also essentially compressed air storage that has technical difficulties as well. I want to see all of these technology used. And what the PUC clearly can do is set an overall goal of several gigawatts, but then reserve smaller goals for other technologies. The other thing is, frankly, there are only like 3 possible pumped hydro projects. Even with all 3 of those, I don't think we can meet the demand that we'll have for storage when we go to 50% renewables. So I don't see a problem here at all. The big problem right now, though, is because none of these projects can be considered as fitting into a mandate from the PUC, they're just not getting fair consideration. So what I'm asking here is for a level playing field where all technologies can be considered.
And I have no problem with that. It would just make sure that the playing field doesn't go tilting the other direction as well. So we'll, I'd love to talk to you, but I will be certainly supporting this today, and I'll see it again in environmental quality in a few weeks.
We'll see what happens next week.
All right.
Senator Hertzberg.
Yeah, Dr. Quirk, I have a series of questions for your staff. Mr. Braden Borcherdink, if you could have him come up to the table. I've got a series of questions. I believe he was participating in preparing this measure. That's a, I guess he's not here. No, that's just, I'm just giving him a hard time. He used to work for me. It's okay. It's part of the hazing process. Thank you, sir. He's a brilliant guy. His face turned a little red. But all I can do is I associate my comments with those of Senator Pavley in terms of living through that experience, and that just a real sensitivity toward that larger dynamic with respect to hydro. But I certainly have seen globally the pump back systems work pretty well. It's a pretty interesting thing. And the question is, do we actually look at the net number? Because how much energy does it take to make the energy out and pumping it back? And what does that look like, both in terms of
Yeah.
costs and the net number?
Right now, pumped hydro is by far the most efficient storage system and the cheapest per megawatt hour of storage. It is by far, and that may be one reason why they did limit it. Now going from 20% to 33% to eventually 50%, we need gigawatts, and that means we're going to need pump storage and perhaps compressed air storage, certainly batteries. And as Senator Pavley said, there's some applications that batteries are good at, some that pump storage are good at. If you're going to want something, a large amount of energy, for example, to meet the what is it, the neck of the duck, as it has to go up. Certainly, yeah, the duck curve, certainly pumped hydro can and should be a large part of that because you need gigawatts. You're talking about gigawatts of climb. And I think all the pump storage we're talking about would be less than 2 gigawatts, so it's less than what we need to make that climb. But the more storage we have, the less concern about having to have peaker natural gas plants, et cetera. Right. So
it's not sensitive to the environment. It's independently controlled. That's the thing that's like long-term natural gas in the sense that you can run any time. If it's not windy or if it's not sunny, there's other alternatives that are otherwise stagnated.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very well, thank you. We don't have a quorum, so we can't make a motion. We'll thank you. If you want to make any closing comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I appreciate the work of the committee, and thank you for the questions.
Okay, thank you. And when we establish a quorum, we'll certainly move the bill. We'll now take on our next bill, AB 385, by Assemblymember Chu, a bill related to daylight savings time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May I start?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chair and senators. I'm here to present AB 385, which will put before the voters the question of whether or not to keep the daylight saving time as it currently exists or switch to year-round standard time, and potentially a possibility of staying at daylight saving time year-round. And the Assembly does put forward a resolution and calling for the federal government to consider giving us the third option, which is to stay at the daylight saving time or mountain time year-round. The daylight saving time began in the United States with the Standard Time Act of 1918, which established DST and created a standardized time zone across the country. California officially adopted DST in the spring and summer months after the passage of Proposition 12 in 1949. So this has been more than 60 years that before we reviewed this practice. The main rationale at that time was to allow an extra hour of sunlight in evening, thereby preventing California from using more electricity to light their homes. However, according to a 2008 study published by the National Bureau of Economic Research, experts studied change in energy use in Indiana after the state finally adopted DST for the spring and summer months in 2006. The study has three key findings. First, the time change increased residential electricity consumption by 1% overall, with monthly increase as high as 4% in the late summer and early fall. Secondly, the switch resulted in a higher electricity bill for the consumers, increasing level of pollution from power plants, and while the demand for the lighting dropped, the extra hour of daylight increased the usage of air conditioning. Third, there was an increased demand for heating in the early spring and late fall, adding additional costs to the homeowners and residents. The California Energy Commission came to a similar conclusion regarding to daylight saving time in a report designed to study the impact of the Federal Energy Policy Act of 2005. The act has extended the daylight saving time by 3 weeks in the spring and 1 week in the fall beginning in 2007 in the hopes that the extension would save energy, but the report found that the extension had little or no effect on energy consumption in California. In addition to the lack of energy saving, research documented that in the week following the spring forward, there is a noticeable uptick in workplace accident and vehicle fatalities, a noticeable decrease in workplace productivity, and a higher report incidence of stroke and heart attacks. I do not bring this bill forward because I believe that daylight saving time saves no benefit to California, or that eliminating it would result in a noticeable improvement in the health or well-being of the Californian. Given that daylight saving time is an institution that has been in place largely without a question for more than half a century, I think we owe it to the general public to be given the opportunity to decide for themselves whether or not daylight saving time ought to be continued. With that, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
We're going to interrupt you just for a second so we can establish a quorum. Members, clerk, please call the roll.
Wesso,
Present.
Wesso here, Morel, Canella, Canella here, Gaines, Hertzberg, Hertzberg here, Hill, Lara, Leyva, Leyva here, McGuire, McGuire here, Pavley, Pavley here, Wolk.
And while we're all here, we'll entertain a motion on AB 33. We have a motion. Clerk, please call the roll on AB 33 with amendments.
Do pass as amended to Environmental Quality Committee. Wesso,
Aye.
Wesso aye, Morel, Canella, Canella aye, Gaines, Hertzberg, Hertzberg aye, Hill, Lara, Leyva, Leyva aye, McGuire, McGuire aye, Pavley, Pavley aye, Wolk.
It has enough votes, but we'll leave it open for absent members. Coming back to the item before us, AB 385.
Thank you very much.
Do we have anybody in the public that wishes to, before you leave, Assembly Member, we just wanted to hear from the public. Does anyone in the public wish to comment on this bill, either in support of or in opposition? Anyone out there on AB 385? Do we have any comments from the committee?
Chair, as someone who counts down the days to daylight savings time, I was a little surprised when I saw your bill, and then hearing your statement, I'm just trying to understand what the need. And I think what you're saying is you want this to go to the ballot and let the citizens of California decide. But did I hear correctly that part of the impetus is because we're not gaining the electrical savings that we thought we might be gaining, and also that 1 week that there might be some increased productivity problems at work?
Right. The 1 week was an experimental, by the state of California, and the reason is to really give the voter a review of this policy for more than half a century ago. And the energy consumption back in the 40s is very different than today. So we have evidence that there was no energy saving when we go back to when we switch them back and forth, and it does create a health problem. So we'd like to just give the voters an option to whether to stay on one time zone all year round, either the standard time or the mountain time, which is the daylight saving time, or switch them back and forth.
Okay, I appreciate the answer. I will be respectfully voting no today.
Okay, do we have a motion on this bill? Okay, we have a motion. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Do pass to appropriations. Wesso,
Aye.
Wesso aye, Morel, Canella, Gaines, Hertzberg, Hertzberg aye, Hill, Lara, Leyva, Leyva no, McGuire, McGuire aye, Pavley, Pavley aye, Wolk.
Okay, we'll leave that bill open, the roll open on that bill for absent members. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to ask Assemblymember Garcia to come forward on AB 1180.
Chairman, members, AB 1180 creates a pilot program aimed at answering this question. Does it still make sense to require utility customers that pay their bills with a credit card or debit card to also pay a transaction fee? A lot has changed in the decade since the legislature adopted the transaction fee requirement for the PUC regulated utilities. Most people use online forms of bill payment. The use of checks has declined significantly. The percentage of low-income customers paying their bills with credit cards is about the same as other customers. And unbanked and underbanked customers now have access to prepaid debit cards. AB 1180 would allow water utility to waive the transaction fee for customers paying by credit card, debit card, and prepaid cards. By removing what is seen as a barrier to using credit card debit payments, the water utilities can then begin to collect information about the cost and benefits related to available forms of bill payments. AB 1180 then requires CPUC to prepare a report to be sent to the legislature so that we, the lawmakers, can discuss whether or not the fee is still necessary. This measure also requires that the costs associated with the pilot not be recovered from low-income customers and that customers be notified that the program is temporary. I have with me Jack Hawks on behalf of California Water Association and Evan Jacobs from Cal American Water to testify on behalf.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Members of the committee, my name is Jack Hawks, Executive Director of the California Water Association, and my group represents 108 water utilities regulated by the PUC, and they provide reliable, safe, high-quality water to about 6 million Californians. I want to once again thank Assemblymember Garcia for authoring this bill for us and carrying it. What we're trying to do here is solve a kind of a cost-shifting problem. Right now, the current law requires that a transaction fee be levied unless for the use of credit cards to pay your water bills or debit cards or prepaid cards. And this fee is levied, and it runs between $2 and $3 a month, unless and until the PUC determines that there's no net cost to the utility. Well, unfortunately, all forms of payment actually have some form of cost, the most being when a customer comes up and pays their bill in person, processing checks, telephone, et cetera. They all have costs for the utility and for the customers. Well, all of those costs are just part of the normal cost of operation, and they're included in rates, except for this one. And so we are hopeful, and we expect that this pilot program will yield us all the necessary information to actually make a more permanent decision on this issue in the future. But right now, anybody who wants to use credit or debit cards or prepaid cards, they're already paying for all the other forms of payment in their rates. And on top of that, they're paying this extra transaction fee. And it's kind of a discriminatory payment process we're trying to reconcile and resolve with this bill to get started. I was going to let Evan Jacobs, he actually works for one of our member companies, California American Water, and has actually dealt with customers on this issue directly.
Yeah, so thank you for hearing this bill, and I'd urge you to support it. I will say anecdotally, I talked to quite a few customers, and I see customer satisfaction information. This transaction fee that we impose on our customers when they use credit cards and debit cards is an annoyance. They dislike it. They feel like they're being nickeled and dimed by their utility company by being forced to pay an extra charge to use a form of payment that's almost universally accepted without extra charge everywhere else in our society.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody in the public that would like to speak any which way in support or in opposition? Anyone out there? Do we have any comments from Senator McGuire?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and do appreciate the author bringing this forward. My comments are not at all directed to the author or any of the utilities. I think it's just the frustration and the antiquated process that we have right now with the PUC. Having to be able to bring forward a bill, to be able to look at a pilot project, to be able to use your damn debit or credit card is ridiculous. Have had this conversation with Senator Leyva. I simply don't carry cash anymore, right? Only pay with my debit and credit. And it just shows how antiquated this system is. And it also saves costs. When we implemented this at the County of Sonoma, when I was on the Board of Supervisors, and we are not far behind the state, by the way, we were able to reduce our costs when it comes to processing, and we're able to process credit card at 82 cents on average. When we're looking at check and or cash payment, it's near $2. So that just brings me to the one item of charging the real cost is what I would hope. And I understand it's different, public versus private, but what we gave a guarantee to our ratepayers is that we would only charge real costs. So that would be one item, but I'll be supportive of the bill today. Appreciate you bringing it forward. It's silly that we're having to do this, but do appreciate that to be able to bring us into the 20th century.
Yes, I'd like to echo those comments because it's shocking that we do need to go through this process, but I think it's important to give people the ability to pay with credit cards, including, I mean, some people pay with a credit card every month through an automatic deduction, saving you having to go through the post office and everything else and having to write a check. And so we do need to get with the times. And I think this is a fantastic bill. And I want to, are you representing the postal workers today? Is that what it is?
I do want to register my support.
It's too late. We already asked for the speakers and you, no, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. Alex Alanis, California Bankers Association. Just want to let you know that CBA is in strong support of the measure. Totally echo Senator McGuire's comments with respect to the efficiency of processing transactions. So we were just a yes vote today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Do we have a motion on this bill? We have a motion. Clerk, please call the roll. Did you want to make any closing comments?
I'll take your comments.
Okay,
as my
thank you.
closing. Thank you.
Hueso.
Aye.
Hueso, aye. Morel. Canela. Gaines.
Aye.
Gaines, aye. Hertzberg.
Aye.
Hertzberg, aye. Hill. Lara. Leyva. Leyva, aye. McGuire. McGuire, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. Wolk. We have enough votes.
Okay, it has enough votes, but we're going to keep the roll open.
Thank you.
For the absent members.
Mr. Chairman, before you call the next measure, I just wanted to say that the retiring member of this committee, the senior member of this committee, is very appreciative of your new rules you passed to give them a full pension after they retire from this committee. Senator Pavley appreciates that very much. Not focused. Thank you.
Apparently that happened sometime in between the presentation that nobody was aware of. We have one item on consent, AB 2903. If we could have a motion on the consent item just to, we have a motion. Clerk, please call the roll.
AB 2903, do pass to appropriations. Hueso.
Aye.
Hueso, aye. Morel. Canela. Gaines.
Aye.
Gaines, aye. Hertzberg. Hertzberg, aye. Hill. Lara. Leyva. Leyva, aye. McGuire. McGuire, aye. Pavley. Pavley, aye. Wolk.
Very well, we'll move forward with AB 1289. Assemblymember Cooper.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. AB 1289 is a public safety measure which seeks to ensure the safety of passengers utilizing TNC services. AB 1289 will hold accountable TNC operators who hire drivers with checkered backgrounds, including offenses for sexual assault, DUI, fraud, nonviolent felonies, or crimes involving property damage or theft. The bill authorizes a penalty against TNCs of up to $50,000 for each offense for hiring drivers with prohibited offenses. As recently as last year, district attorneys in Los Angeles and San Francisco uncovered 25 participating TNC drivers with convictions for murder, assault, DUI, and other criminal offenses. AB 1289 will assist TNCs to uncover the complete criminal history of prospective drivers and will help ensure the safety of passengers utilizing TNC services. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Very well. Do we have anybody in the public like to comment one way or another in support or in opposition? We'll begin with the support. And if you'd like to speak in support, please line up behind this mic here.
Thank you. My name is Mark Gruberg. I'm with the San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance, speaking in support with one qualification. This fingerprint background checks are the gold standard for identifying persons who may have committed a crime and are using an alias. There was a driver for Uber in the city of Houston who, if I can just refer to this, had 24 aliases, 5 dates of birth, 10 social security numbers, and an outstanding arrest warrant at the time, and yet he passed the background check. So this is the only way you're going to catch people like this. My only caveat, and this is personal because our group supports background checks for TNC drivers as it does for taxi drivers, but we have not had a chance to discuss this in detail because we only over the weekend realized that it had come up. This is my personal caveat is that some of the crimes in this bill are relatively minor, such as theft. And because there's no time limit on the amount of time that a person would be disqualified from driving, we feel that this list of crimes could be pared down somewhat. But other than that, I can speak for the Taxi Workers Alliance in support of this. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Barry Cargill. I'm also with the San Francisco Taxi Workers Alliance, and I've been supporting this bill, and I agree with the caveats that Mark mentioned. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Ann McVeigh, and I'm an owner-operator of a taxi, and I support this bill with the reservations that were expressed about the excessive penalties. But I would also like to add that the penalties, I think, should be passed on to the companies that the drivers drive for, like Uber and Lyft, who've been negligent in hiring felons and not doing complete background checks. Like if they had done the FBI lifetime check, that man might not have had his eye socket bashed in San Francisco, because if it had gone one more year past 7 years, they would have found he was a felon. So I do support this with a little fine-tuning. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tom Diesso, San Francisco yellow cab driver since 1975. And in public safety, I support this bill. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Marcelo Fonseca, full-time taxi driver for almost 28 years in San Francisco. I do support your bill. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mary McGuire, San Francisco taxi driver, and I support the bill as well. Live scan is really the only way to go. Proper background check. Thank you.
Do we have anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the bill? Any opposition? Do we have any comments from the committee?
Quick question. Assemblymember Cooper, so this would, in reference to what the last speaker just said, would this bill require a live scan fingerprint or just fingerprinting in general?
It would just be short of that. It would disqualify certain people from the offenses. So not quite, it's almost to that threshold, but just below that.
So it would not they would not have to be fingerprinted?
Correct.
Would you feel like amending that into the bill?
I think this comes just short of it. I think it's a good bill right now. There's some other issues with the gig economy, so it's a little bit different. And I think this goes a lot further in the fact that folks are disqualified for sexual assaults, serious bodily injury, DUI, fraud, nonviolent felonies, so things like that. So in one aspect, it does go further.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And as far as, I just want to walk through, because there is no real way to confirm who the driver is through either some kind of biometric measurement, and that person ends up having a past that was not uncovered through the research, you're saying that those companies will still be held accountable?
Correct, Mr. Chair, and that's through the fine, which is $50,000 for each occurrence.
For each occurrence that they didn't properly identify somebody's past?
Correct, for not vetting that.
Okay. Did anybody have else any comments?
Through the chair.
Yes, Senator Gaines.
Yes, thank you, Assembly Member Cooper, for bringing this forward. Now, I just wanted clarification because I'm familiar with the bill, but it's in its current state. There aren't any amendments being taken. Is that accurate at this point?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, very well, thank you.
Do we have a motion on the bill? Did you
move.
want to close? Closing comments?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote. I'll move it.
Okay, we have a motion. Clerk, please call the roll.
Do pass to public safety. Wesso?
Aye.
Wesso, I. Morel? Canella? Aye. Canella, I. Gaines?
Aye.
Gaines, I. Hertzberg? Hertzberg, I. Hill? Lara? Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? McGuire, I. Pavley? Pavley, I. Wolk? Morel, I.
Okay, that bill is out. We'll hold it open for absent members.
Thank you.
Be back. Okay, members, we're going to go ahead and take a look at file item number 6. That's AB 1574.